These damn birds. I've yet to move them. I have a spot to put them, I just haven't moved them yet. Anyways, we talked a little about in our last video, how much money do you need to actually merch, and what items should I merch? What items should I look for? Well, first let's get into the cash stack. Like I said last time, you can really start with any amount of cash. You can start with, 1 GP. I think I saw a video about it. I forget who it was. But anyways, I mean, you could do anything. Of course, you're not going to make good profit at that. You're going to need at least, I'd say, 5 mil to start decently. So if you want to go do something else, skill, make that 5 mil or whatever, and then you could have a successful merching flip every day and build your stack from there. I'll actually do a video of me starting with, maybe 1 mil or 5 mil and see how much we can get with that. Of course, the higher cash stack is going to be better. Now, the items that you want to look for is really all depends on the time and what is buying and selling at the moment. If you go to the graphs, of course, you can see what is the buy sell offers and how much they're going for at the time and how much they'll be going for later on. Of course, looking at the graphs, it's going to show you how many is going to be being sold per hour and how much they're going for per hour. Always check the graphs out before you actually buy the item because you could lose a lot of money by not just checking the graphs. It takes like 10 seconds once you know what you're looking for, and I mean, it'll save you a lot. Now, there's two different lists that I look at first. So I look at the high volume items and the high margin items. Of course, the high volume items are going to be all the stackables, things you buy multiple of and resell for like 30 GP each. And that's, I would say, money can stack up pretty high at doing that because every now and then I'll find items that are, making 110 GP profit per item. So if you buy a couple thousand of them, maybe max cash or max stack, you'll make a lot of profit out of that item. Now, again, look at the high margins. The high margins aren't that bad. You can find good profits every now and then, but I suggest starting out stick with smaller items. I mean, you can still do the high margins, but don't buy, high price items. Same with the high volume items. I never suggest people doing high volume items at first, like for their first flips. But if you want to and you want to try it out, maybe buy 100, for example, ranging pots, prayer pots, and they're kind of expensive though. Anyways, from the clip that I'm seeing right now in this overlay, I actually bought these prayer pots at 9.1K last night before I made the video. And this morning, when I was going to make the video, I resold them at 9.3, which, isn't a crazy profit, but for high volume items, that is extremely good. Now, again, when you're on the GE tracker looking for the item to buy, make sure if you end up buying that item and reselling it for a decent amount of profit that you like, be sure you write that item down. Excuse me. Be sure you write the item down somewhere, whether it's on a notepad, on the OSRS notepad, on your computer somewhere. Always write your items down because you never know it. It could be a day later, a week later, you see that same item and you're wondering what the price for it should be. Like, what did I pay for it last time? I made crazy good profit. Is this a good margin? And once you get on there, you'll understand what I'm talking about because sometimes you could buy an item and you're not going to make anything out of it. So if you buy prayer pots for 9.1K, a week later you see them at 8.8K. Oh wait, and I'll add, you bought them for 9.1K and you resold them for 9.3. So pretty good profit range. A week later, you see them on there again and they're selling for 8.8. And you can't remember what you paid for them for. You're just trying, you can't figure it out. Like, is this a good buy? What did I sell them for last time? And once you write that stuff down and you know what you're actually making out of that item, because that price is always going to eventually reach that peak again. It might take a while, overnight, the next day, but it will eventually reach that peak. And if you're patient, you can go ahead and just buy it for that price and resell it for your original selling price that you bought it for the other day. If that makes sense, you don't have to sell it for what the GE tracker says. Again, we're looking at the graphs. This day it was selling for 9.1K. On Wednesday it was selling for 8.8K. Thursday, and maybe look at a monthly chart. It has all that on there for you. So there's a lot more to look into when flipping than just the item and the selling prices of the item. Also, keep in mind that even though the GE tracker doesn't show the item, say you bought a few days ago, up at the top of the list, check that item every now and again. You'll eventually get a list of items and a big list of good profits of everything. So go through that list and check it through the GE tracker to search it and go to that item yourself. So it's even though it's not showing on the home page. Doing that, you're going to be able to see what the item is. Of course, there probably won't be any profit made out of that, but you can see what it's selling for at the time. If it's lower than the price you bought it for before, then I would go ahead and buy it and hang on to it. Maybe even stick it back in the sell price for what you sold it for last time, and it might eventually reach that peak. Again, going back, looking into the graphs, you got to look to see what time everything sold, what day everything sold, and just go from there. For example, which this method is probably going to be messed up by now. Actually, already is over my stream. I told everyone about it. But the Dragon Harpoons used to go for about 4.7 to 4.8 mil. I would buy them every single day, max stack amount, put them back in for 5.66 mil. They would sell every single night, and that was a pretty good amount of profit just by buying them and reselling them while I'm sleeping or something. I didn't have to worry about those items dropping in price or me losing money on them, except for the past few days they completely crashed and they haven't gone back up to 5 mil in a while. That might be fixed later, but that's just an example. Like I said, there should be a lot more, and there is a lot more items. I just won't talk about those. But you'll find items like that, and you should definitely remember those because that could be future profit over the nighttime while you're sleeping. Don't even have to do anything. Just stick them in. Try to buy them before you go to bed. That way they're selling and not buying. I'm kind of skeptical about buying items over line, but it can go both ways. I mean, it's the same thing. You could try to buy it all night and you eventually buy it. You wake up the next morning, go to sell it, and the price completely crashed and you can't sell it, so you have to hang on to it. Again, that way you can just either stick the item back in for the price you want to get, and maybe it'll reach that peak again, or just stick them in your bank and hang on to it for a few weeks. Or hey, take the loss. Like me, I'm kind of impatient, so sometimes I'll just take a 5 GP per item loss or 100K per loss, whatever. If it's not too bad, I'll just take the loss, get my money back that I can, and start flipping again. Alright, that's pretty much it for this video. There's not much more to talk about for beginner flips. Like I said, it's a lot easier when you're watching me live on Twitch, which twitch.com/anoob. If y'all want to come check that out sometimes. I'm live a lot of the times. It's still a new channel, not very active. So if same with this YouTube channel. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Uh, Again, it's a lot easier just to watch it live. You might be completely confused by this video. I don't know. I hope some of those details helped for you. And I will see y'all on live stream.